Hello, Virgo. Happy birthday, first of all, for the coming month of September. And welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do, obviously, the reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for September 2019. So I'm going to pick a oracle card from Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild. I'm going to read to you a little bit from it, then we're going to clarify it with the tarot. We'll get into the actual reading. This is just your theme, right? Let's see, what is the message from your heart? All right, so we have Merciful Mother Jamal. All right, I'm going to look. It's number 44. There's a master number. Okay, 44. So the poem associated with this card from Rumi says, "Oh, sudden resurrection. Oh, countless blessings. Oh, blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with a laughter to break open the jail." Rumi. And I'm not going to read everything because it's way too long. It's like 3 pages or so. But I'm going to read the introduction and then I'll go straight to the guidance. "You, blazing angel, capable of so much, you evoke the testing hand of life. Why not when you cannot fail? Yet in your sweet surrender, how can the great beloved not respond in kind and offer you solace, comfort, and mercy? For not all success must be hard won. Can you imagine this? The sweet face of all powerful. It shines upon you as the love emanating from the Holy Mother's eyes, the golden radiance of her body, and the gentleness of her touch. This is your birthright now, your divine inheritance, the mercy of the All-Merciful. Let it soften the hard edges of your life and your being and bring to you the grace that is deserved." Is that beautiful? So this oracle brings you a message. There is a shift taking place now in a matter of great importance to you, from Jalal to Jamal, from justice to mercy. This is your path, your destiny, and your blessing now opening up for you. It may be a particular matter. However, it likely includes your entire life orientation. You are being granted refuge, respite, and shelter from the storms of struggle and doubt, and being given a divine sanctuary of safe harbor. You shall find that the unraveling of the struggle and pain now happens through tenderness, a gender approach. You're also given the message that your prayers are powerful, although action in the world is part of your soul purpose and plan. When you pray, have conviction that your prayers are real, are heard, and are responded to by the great universal heart. So pray carefully and thoughtfully. Be present and speak as if you were speaking to your dearest, oldest, and most influential and more powerful friend, because of course that is exactly what you're doing. Pray from the heart and trust in the power of your prayers. There is no limit to what you can pray about, nothing too unspiritual or unworthy, nothing, so pray. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you, but is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive. All right. So, seems like it's a big month for you for some reason. Okay. Let's get into the reading. Yeah, I'm still taking that in. But it does make a lot of sense. It actually comes with the Empress as your current energy, right? I'm going to put this here. The Empress is your current energy. Like, she is the mother of the deck, right? find it interesting. This is a 44 and this is a 3. Normally, like in numerology, 44 means 8. And I was for some reason thinking about the Emperor with the number 4. Anyhow, it seems that you're reaching a stage in your life where you're going to, I don't know if I can say that you won't be struggling anymore, because life is life. There's always going to be things happening that aren't particularly fantastic or what we want, but it may be that you start perceiving things with less heaviness. You're starting to get into that space of like receiving grace in a sense, but it's not necessarily from somebody outside of yourself. It's more from from your inner self, from your, like these cards are very beautiful. They're talking about elements and parts of ourselves, but they're personified or projected in a sense so that your subconscious can find a container for them, right? But what really happens is that these are aspects of yourself. So I think that this grace that you're receiving, it's from your inner God, if that makes sense to you. And that by you allowing yourself to be more, I don't know, to feel really safe, to feel cared for, to feel connected, to feel, connected with this feminine, universal mother archetype, and feel nurtured by it. That's pretty much what's going to help you not perceive the problems in your life as so difficult and so heavy. You can start learning from them and look at them as something that's just part of the journey, and keep that inner joy, if that makes sense. Okay, this is your challenge position. You've got 2 cards coming in. All right, the Wheel of Fortune with the 6 of Pentacles. All right, what's your advice? What's the advice from Tarot? And the part of the prayer, well, that's interesting, because I personally always had resistance. Temperance is your advice. I personally had resistance to anything that sounds remotely religious or too spiritual when I started opening up. And I could see the energies, I could see things connecting, but at the moment they would like take too much of a religious code, like pray, or I don't know, I've done meditation retreats in temple, and the fact that I had to bow or this sort of stuff, I was feeling I was having a lot of resistance, right? So the point is that we need to take the messages for us that make sense to us. If you don't need to call it prayer. The point is that your mind creates an intention. You move your energy with your mind, your focus, the way what you focus on, and it makes sense. Like prayer, it's ritualistic in a sense. It is used a lot in Christianity. It is used a lot in a lot of religion, but that's just because it's literally like magic. Magic is also incantation of a few words. It's like focused, intentional energy. So when you say your prayers, and when you put your intentions, or when you focus your thoughts and energy towards something or someone, you're sending energy that way. The way it will manifest, it may be very different, or depends of a lot of other stuff, but it does help to have a focused intention. For example, the practice of metta meditation, love and kindness, it's focusing the energy of the heart and love towards people outside of yourself and towards yourself. Forgiveness meditation, tongue line meditation, that's exactly what's at the core of them, because you're repeating a mantra that you're directing at certain people. I don't know why I felt the need to, this is your outcome, what's coming in the future. I felt the need to explain that in a sense, because, yeah, I guess I just didn't want to trigger those that do have the same type of resistance I used to have. This is your underlying energy to go along with your theme, actually. I'm just going to put this together with the Nine of Wands. And yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that why you need this space of like complete grace and mercy, You've been on this path for a long time. You've been like, this is the wounded warrior. You've been wounded, you were tired, you're at that place where you want to give up, but Nine of Wands always tells you that don't give up. There's just like there's so little to the 10 till the end of this cycle to you're taking what you're supposed to be taking from this journey. There's so little left. Just don't give up. Connect to this space of grace and again, I have a little bit of resistance to the word mercy, also because I probably attach it to religion, and also because I attach it to, okay, you're at the whim of somebody else. You're not at the whim of anybody else. When this, mercy in this context and the merciful mother is not necessarily, it includes forgiveness and it includes acceptance. That's what the focus is. All right, let's clarify these cards before we go deeper. Okay. There's the Empress here, the World. Ooh la la. You do realize you have a lot of major arcana here. It does feel like a really, really important period in your life this month of September. It makes sense. It's your solar return. Here's your energy, the Hermit, as your challenge. What is difficult for you right now? This pile here is very interesting. I'm going to get into that. Okay, why is Temperance here as your advice? What do we have for Temperance? Why is Temperance here as your advice? Four of Swords. Okay. What's the Ace of Cups here as your future energy? Coming in your future. It's the Ace of Cups here. Page of Wands. Beautiful. And bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups to go along with your theme. So there we go. Like, forgiveness is necessary here. When you get wounded like this, to the point that you fence up in this way, and you have, I don't know, if you see that this guy's head is bandaged, that means that he has a head wound. That means your mind is been affected in the sense that you are probably overprotective. You are experienced, you know a lot, it's fantastic, you can make use of that experience, but if you rely solely on that experience, you will forget to live. Look at these guys, they're completely like just watching when are they coming, when are they coming to get me now, because that's what he's been fighting for so long. That's the conditioning, you learn to have automatic responses, and it comes obviously from your past, from your childhood, and the Six of Cups has to do with like melancholy and going back into the past, and like you're not checking in with maybe your younger self, and checking in with where did this fight started. Do you even remember? Maybe ages ago, maybe just that you came into the world fighting, or you that's all that you can remember. Where is that coming from? Has it started at a young age? Had it started in your family? Are you carrying, maybe consciously or unconsciously, certain dynamics from your family? We all do, by the way, but we all need to go through our journey to inside to identify what these dynamics, like family dynamics that hurt us, we still carry in our present life, and to learn to detach from them, to understand that it's not really ours to carry. and that's just learned behavior. And this, I also have in place defense mechanisms against those learned behavior, and so on and so on and so on, and blind spots. So it's a journey, it's an inner journey, and it is important to go within and start seeing, like, where did this all started? Does this still make sense? Why am I so guarded? Why am I so angry? Why am I so you feel very tired, and it makes sense. You've been on this journey for a long time, but it's time to nurture yourself with kindness. This is also the card of kindness, right? So this whole this merciful mother is present within you. It's present within Mother Earth. It's present within each and every one of us, within the collective consciousness. And you know that if you focus your energy, if you pray, or if you um, start like mantra reciting, or you can make your own, you don't need to make it a mantra, but to start focus your energy about on forgiveness and on loving kindness towards yourself, the person within you that's been so hurt and has been fighting for so long, and towards the ones that did hurt you. Because forgiveness, and I know that every reader will tell you this, but it's important to mention, forgiveness is not letting anyone off the hook. Forgiveness really means to let go of the energy that's hurting you. Because when we are angry, when we are guarded, when we are defensive, we are closing ourselves down, and we are going in that loop of reliving again and again and again the anger, the frustration, the everything. And when we forgive, we don't condone the behavior of those that hurt us, but we do let go of the pain that is causing us. Oh my God, this is going to be long reading. I need to get quicker a little bit. This takes a long time. I'm still thinking, how am I going to do the readings from now on? I do love them, but they tend to be very time consuming. Okay, so the Empress of the World is your current energy. The Empress is the whole embodiment of this merciful mother, right? Just look at this. Look at the beauty of this. The colors are also similar, with these reds and the yellows, and I just got some pink here and stuff. Yeah. So your current energy, the Empress of the World. So you're ending a chapter. That's for sure. Like, a chapter is ending for you right now, and it makes sense. It's a solar return. It's like complete cycle, learning something and pushing you forward to your next part of the journey. And hopefully this, like, from what's understandable here, this next part of the journey is going to be smoother, because you have the ability to let go, because you have the ability to be kind to yourself first. It's easier to be kind to other people, but I always actually, if you go a little bit deeper and you realize that we are kind to other people to think with things that we aren't kind to ourselves, say, I don't know, when we say, like, somebody says, oh my God, I'm such a horrible person, look what I just did, and you just try to make it feel better and say, no, it's okay, be kind to yourself, blah blah. But if you do the same thing, you're not. Well, that's hypocritical, first of all, because you're not really kind to the other person. It's in your mind. It's like giving them like being tolerant, in a sense, to other people's shit, in order for them to be tolerant with yours. But it's not really like accepting and kind and loving or forgiving. So you will see kind of what your relationship is with yourself by what triggers you outside of yourself, and also where are you really kind to others but you aren't to yourself. It's a good guidance to go a little bit deeper. So with the World and the Empress here, yeah, you're in this completely new journey when you're starting to truly get into the power of the feminine energy and of the universal mother. In your challenge position, though, you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. And the Hermit is your card, and it's in your challenge position. So I find it maybe it's difficult to be yourself in the light of all these changes. Here you go, another card of change, another card of like complete full circle. This is a 10. This is a 21. This is like the change in the middle of a certain journey, when you reach the point and things start turning. And this is the end of an entire journey and the beginning of a new one, propelling you to your next. So I guess that maybe actually you're reaching this point of end of a cycle where you're really learning. Like the world is a card of graduation. You're not repeating this cycle, you're not repeating this pattern, because the wisdom of it had been learned, right? You don't need to anymore. It's enough. You can move on now. But in the midst of all these changes, you need to have other cycles and other aspects of yourself that are also ongoing, with other patterns, other personas, other dramas within yourself that needs resolving, and care and kindness. And probably the hermit within you, the investigator, the one who's like going to bring light in the darkest corners, is a little bit overwhelmed here with all these changes, with looking at the way you need to, the way you're spending your energy, balancing out the give and take. And again, it's a kind of a card of generosity, of kindness. And probably this can't be very easy. Your nature. I'm not saying that you're not kind or generous, but coming from this space, it is difficult to really like roll with this energy, if that makes sense. It's happening very fast. This is fast moving energy, the Wheel of Fortune and the world, and balancing out how much energy we put in different people, how much time, maybe money, maybe resources are we directing towards whom, and how much are we allowing ourselves to receive. It's important to look at that. And it obviously, you see, there's two people here, there's three people here. It has to do a lot with relationships as well. And if you've been in this hermit mode for a while now, so resolving all these issues, licking your wounds, and so on and so on, and you've been in constant investigation and on a healing path, which is beautiful. But it's important, like, it's easy to be enlightened when you're on the top of the mountain alone. Go spend a week with your family and see how enlightened you really are. My point here is that yes, it is important to take the space to heal ourselves from within and in solitude, but at the same time, it's very, very important to start interacting with people again, having, come as a healing force in our relationships, and see what gets really triggered. That's where the gold is. That's where the information is. It's actually much faster for you to really heal and go through your spiritual growth when you interact with people than when you don't. Because when you don't, you can be like on top of your mountain, you can be in your whole hermit mode, and not see a soul for, and yeah, you go places within and into the universe. But when you may be very, very surprised sometimes, because you had no mirrors and no outlets for your shadows, if you actually meet somebody on the road, how you would react, and how what weird sides of you may show up, because they haven't had a platform to show up, right? Anyway, is your advice, you have the Temperance card with the Four of Swords, and the Temperance is all about connecting to this inner alchemist within you, and this guy is like pouring out the water of life, and water has to do with emotions. It's balancing out your emotions, and again, it's balancing out this six of pentacles has to do with balancing out the way you really spend your energy in the world. The temperance has to do with balancing out um your emotions, but not just your emotions. It has to do with like the elements within you, really. I've got maybe too much fire sometimes, and maybe I'm in need of a little bit more water or earth to ground me, or air to put this into perspective and into context. All elements are important. And yes, you may be an earth sign, for example. The Virgo is an earth sign, but yeah, that's just your sun. You've got many other elements in your chart. You've got a bit of everything. And yeah, all charts can be different, and some of them can be more balanced, some can be more imbalanced, but it is important to balance it up. This is the journey. This is part of our journey. It's not like, okay, so you have a lot of earth, fire and air, and you've got no water, you're just handicapped, and you can't continue into the world. No, that's not how it works. How it works is that we're learning how to produce that gold, the whole alchemist thing that we need. We're learning to tap into our inner mother to get the nurturing that we need. We're learning to tap into our inner father to get the discipline that we need. We don't need it from outside of ourselves. And the temperance teaches you that. The temperance is telling you that you have the elements and you can play with them. You can say, okay, put a little bit here, put a little bit of that. Let's see how that goes. Engage your curiosity in this process. And that also, when we are engaging the curiosity and the investigative mind, then we are engaging our frontal cortex more, and we are allowing ourselves to get out a little bit of our conditioning that's more like from our limbic system, the mammal brain, like this, don't like this, I'm going to seek out pleasure and run away from pain and that sort of stuff. Because when we're trapped in that conditioning, and it's part of us, it's part of our making, we don't need to deny it, but we can't be trapped in it either. It's much easier to get lost in our emotions, into automatic responses and behaviors that are just defense mechanisms, really, and they can be quite harmful behaviors for ourselves and others. But when we are curious, when we engage this curiosity, the mind can rest because we know we are safe. We are learning. It was always like a different mode. It's like switching modes for your brain. And there you go. This is taking you in a beautiful place. The Ace of Cups with the Page of Wands. It's novelty, and it makes sense. There's a real change happening here within you, and you're learning so much from this, and you learn obviously to open your heart again because of all this kindness that you are focusing yourself on. I will really recommend some loving kindness meditation or metta meditation or even Tonglen or forgiveness, right? All these meditations really, like, there's so many guided meditations on these topics that you can find on many apps or YouTube channels and so on. But I feel, or you may be familiar already and do it just by yourself. The Ace of Cups and Page of Wands here, like, this is taking you to a place where you really are truly opening up, and you start seeing the opportunities. You start seeing that this is the ones, right? This has to do with your spirit. This has to do with your passion. This has to do with the energy that you put out into the world, what you're creating, and your actions. And I feel like your actions, you start seeing how when your whole, I don't know, if every that you put out into the world, when it comes from this place of loving kindness, when it comes from this place of having an open heart and reaching that space of pure unconditional love, where you understand that we are all in this shit together, and we are all coming in as babies, as innocent as we can be, and then we have all this shit being put on us that we're conditioned in order to live in this society, and we all come from imperfect parents and imperfect environments and so on, and we all get traumatized in a sense or another, and we're all working, the ones that actually are lucky enough or privileged enough to get to the place of enough self-awareness, then we can start working on deconditioning ourselves. We're all in this together. And whenever there's love and nurturing, there's healthy growth. Wherever there's no love and nurturing, well, there's demons start showing up within ourselves, because that's the path, that's the way it works, the energy, that's the duality that we live in. And the more we understand this, the more we can learn how to detach from blame and from shaming and from guilt tripping and so on and so on. And the more we can connect to this space of like really unconditional love, and understand that the darkness is just love in reverse. Evil is a mental construct. So when you connect to your heart in this sense, when you connect to this place of like compassion, like love and compassion, you start seeing that your actions into the world have a very different impact, and a different way for you to perceive it. That's why you enter this space of like really um soothing time, a new cycle. Like you have, like, this card is announcing a strong new cycle, which is going to be really really good for you. You have the world here, and you have the wheel of fortune, which are telling exactly the same thing with a little bit different flavor, but there it is. And the ace of cups is a card of new beginnings and openings. And the page of wands is a card of new beginnings and openings. It's the beginning of understanding your power. It's the beginning of understanding this wand of creation and of magic. You're understanding the magic of the heart, and that's absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm so happy to give you this reading. It's fascinating. I really, really hope you're going to enjoy this new cycle at your best, and it's going to bring you closer to yourself and to being softer inside, allowing yourself to heal the old wounds. And I think you will. You are on this journey, and that's great job you're doing there, Virgo. Well, if you do relate to this reading, if it resonates for you, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here soon. Happy birthday.